What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Oscar. This is where I talk about reality, awareness, consciousness, connecting with spirituality, and finding your true nature beyond the conventional. So, today's Mother's Day. I hope you're having an amazing day. And also, I want to apologize for not making a video this entire week. It's been a crazy, hectic week for me, and understanding deeper topics about myself and things that I want to teach on this channel. So, to make up for this lost week, or not really lost, but this week that hasn't been so active, right? This next week, I'm gonna strive to make a video every single day. And if not every day, every other day, guaranteed. So, a lot of new content coming your way. And today's topic, today's video, let's get to it. It's about going beyond, right? Seeking pleasure and pain. Going beyond. Always going after pleasure and pain. So, just to start this off, I just want to say that a lot of us, if not all of us, are living a life, some less conscious, some more conscious than others. And more than likely, we are always seeking pleasure in many given circumstances and many different ways within our lives, okay? And also, we're always seeking pain by choice through a lot of internalized behaviors that we have, a lot of subconscious programming, a lot of external influence, right? So a lot of the times we're seeking this pleasure and we are going after pain in ways that we think that might not even be us going after pain, but we're still actually putting ourselves in that position to feel this pain within ourselves. So I just want to say that it all comes back to living a conscious, intentional life. Okay? If you're watching this video, you're interested in expanding your consciousness. You're interested in becoming your best version. And for that, once you make that choice to evolve, to expand, to start your personal development, your journey of self-realization, is when you start making these steps necessary to discipline yourself, to discipline the ego, right? Start to become more conscious, more mindful in your everyday life. Start to become more loving, more embracing to all of creation, not just certain things that you like, right? And so, arriving to this topic, really what I want to talk about is understanding all these moments and situations that you're in, or that you've been in the past, or you might be in the future, where you're gonna find yourself going after some type of pleasure. And some types of pleasure that I want to mention are the pleasure that we find in having sex and going out and doing different types of drugs, right? And if you're not doing drugs, right, then just the food that we eat, the way we behave, right? Social media, seeking pleasure through likes, for example, right? Just felt like mentioning that since the Instagram app is deciding, I think, to turn off the like button, right, on Instagram. But a lot of the times people do get depressed when they don't get that many likes. And a lot of the times people go to eat food because it's very tasty. There's a lot of pleasure when it comes to eating, when it comes to feeding your body, right? And then when the food tastes bad, we're now in pain, or because we don't like what we're eating, or when we can't get the food that we want because let's say it's out of stock, right? Again, sometimes we may torment ourselves because we weren't able to enjoy that because we were seeking for pleasure, but now ended up in a space of so-called pain, right? Anxiety, mad, anger. All this because we were after pleasure. And that's where I want to get at. Because a lot of times we're going after this pleasure, maybe impulsively, right? Or habitually, because that's how we were conditioned in this lifetime to always go after seeking pleasure, go after, let's go watch the Super Bowl, for example. Let's go eat a bunch of chicken wings and let's just, scream at the TV. Just giving you a little general idea there. And then what happens when that person and the team, since you were overly indulging in this sport and you were betting, placing bets, and that your team that you were voting for lost. Now, after this loss, after all this time invested, all this energy invested in this situation, if you're watching the sports, now you are angry. Now you talk bad to your family, you talk bad to your wife. You don't wash the dishes, right? Just little things like that. Look where you ended up because you were so keen, right, on finding pleasure, finding victory in this situation that now you lost yourself in the process. So this is just to emphasize the fact that a lot of us find and question. I want you to question yourself. Where am I seeking pleasure in my life, and where can I be more conscious? Where can I go beyond this? Because it is always your choice. But first, it's important to understand this dynamic, right? When am I seeking pleasure? When am I seeking pain? Because a lot of times you might not realize that you're actually putting yourself in situations where you are now in pain. And when I mean pain, I mean other words, other symptoms that are associated with what the word pain means. Like anger, like doubt, like anxiety. This is under that pain category, depression. So now after you understand, and I've talked a little bit about pleasure seeking through the many different ways, now I want to talk about pain, how we end up in these certain situations. And one really important one that I want to talk about, which I'm not going to go too in depth, right? Because I want to make a different video on it, that I'm going to go, elaborate more upon it. But what I want to talk about is depression. Okay, a lot of us end up in states of depression, and why does that happen? It's because we've been playing a character in this lifetime. I mean, if you're watching this video, you've already, I hope, or I'm guessing, right? I'm taking a wild guess here, and I'm thinking that if you're watching these videos, you are ready, right? You are wanting, you have the intention to better yourself and to go beyond, right? Seeking pleasure and pain. But a lot of times, if others that are not watching this video are not wanting to do personal development, not wanting to expand their consciousness, what ends up happening? You guys are living, right? People are living, human beings are living within this three-dimensional material world dimension, right? And we're going about our daily lives, but we're choosing to play this specific character that people want us to be, what your parents want you to be, what your teachers told you to be, what everyone in your external environment told you to be, through compliments, through, just telling you because they have influence over you, your brothers, your sisters, your friends. But what do you want? You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of things that a lot of times we don't ask ourselves these very deep interpersonal questions. What are my passions? What do I really want to do? Instead of what is society telling me to do? Oh, I have to go to college, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to go work for my parents, Just certain situations that you need to really step back for a second and see, what am I doing? And will this get me in this pain state, right? Or am I living as consciously as possible? Because sometimes, like I was saying, we end up in this depressive state, and it's because we want to maintain this role within our lives. And then it comes to a point where, guys, you're living a life that's so ordinary, so just like everybody else, that you lose yourself, and you get tired of having to hold up the standard of who you're supposed to be. Not understanding who you're becoming because you didn't really choose that path to begin with, but you just went with the flow of what everyone else is telling you to do. And you might have thought that it was for pleasure, that it was for people pleasing others. You see, that's another pleasure that a lot of times that is very hidden, that we don't see that often. But the fact that we want to please other people causes happiness in that moment, right? There's a moment of pleasure because you're getting along with the person, right? You're telling them what they want to hear. Everyone's happy, right? But what happens when they catch you in the lie? What happens when you're tired of telling that person that same exact thing over and over again? You find yourself in this awkward situation, and a lot of the times in a situation that you're not happy anymore. So I want you to question in your life, right? In whatever situation you find yourself in, am I doing things out of pleasure? Am I going after some type of pleasure? And will this small moment of pleasure make me end up in a situation of pain, in a state of pain? Or can I find another method where I can go beyond this, and that I can separate myself, and I can step back, and I can notice the pleasure and the pain, and I can find the most efficient, conscious route that's in alignment with my highest path and potential. Patience, discipline, and sometimes even sacrifice on your behalf. But all so that you can go down and live the most abundant life. Another big thing as well is material. Like I said previously, we're all living in this three-dimensional material plane of existence, where everything's very tangible here. Everyone cares a lot about the physical, because that's what this world is based on physicality. And so there's a lot of things, there's a lot of pleasure, right, to be had in this world. But if you're watching this video, then I want you to be conscious of the why. And is it serving your best purpose? Because at the end of the day, everything that gives you pleasure is transitory in this lifetime, okay? You're this sentient being, infinite spiritual being, right? Within this biological shell, physical shell, temporarily, guys, transitory. You're only here for a short amount of time and then you die, okay? Either you come back or you move on to a next plane of existence. So what would be the point? What would be the purpose if you never expand your consciousness? And let's say, right, you die and then you come back in a different body. You die and you come back in a different body. And each single lifetime that you had, all that you were doing was seeking pleasure, seeking money, seeking resources, more relationships, more assets. And then you're repeating the same cycle over and over and over again. It's like you're recycling your mind, body, and spirit over and over again. And you see the trap, why this is a trap now? Do you see where I'm getting at towards the end of this video and wrapping it up? It's the fact that it becomes a cycle, seeking pleasure and pain. You go after pleasure, you end up in a situation of pain because nothing panned out because you were seeking that pleasure. Or you seek that pleasure and yes, you were able to enjoy it, right? But was it beneficial to you? Like alcohol, for example, all right? You want to enjoy it here once in a while, go ahead, feel free. But what I'm trying to allow you to really see and feel is the fact that one moment of pain, one moment of pleasure that might have been so good doesn't serve your highest good. And the more you do it time and time again, you're building a subconscious program, a pattern. And now every single time in your daily life, if you don't actually start to reshape or restructure the way you are to rewire your subconscious mind, you're going to keep on doing the same bad habits, and they're only going to get worse and worse and worse as you go on in life. So the earlier start you get to doing this, to becoming conscious and when you're seeking pleasure, when to seek pain, becoming balanced, making sure that everything actually aligns with your mind, body, and spirit, taking the most holistic approach in your everyday life. So, again, to reach your highest potential, realize that you are beyond this pleasure and pain. And the next video, I'm going to go in depth about this, okay? Because that it tags along, right? And it connects with this video. I'm going to be talking about what happens when you finally are able to go beyond, what it feels like to go beyond, and some techniques and methods that you can use to go beyond. All right? Because you don't deserve to be here in this lifetime and constantly having no control over your mental state, over your body state, or your soul state, your spiritual state of unhappiness, of out of alignment in your lifetime. Because remember, you have a purpose that your higher soul, your higher self, chose to come down here and to express. So, become conscious of what it is that you're doing in your daily life. Find the most, again, holistic approach, and start to little by little move on beyond all these pleasures that you're going after, maybe, right? Watch how you're eating. What are you really eating for? Are you eating to maintain your body, or are you only eating to eat because it's tasty? You see, because then there's something going on there, right? If you're eating constantly and the only reason that you're eating is because it tastes good, then something's out of balance. It's all about balance, harmony, right? Mind, body, and spirit. It's all about balance. Sex, again, about balance. Working, working. Are you visualizing enough? Or are you just visualizing and not taking any action? Comfort, which is part of pleasure. Are you choosing comfort over actually putting yourself in uncomfortable situations? So again, choose your pleasure and a pain correctly, because sometimes for a little bit of pain, you can have a lifetime full of pleasure. And sometimes for a short amount of pleasure, you can have a lifetime of pain. So that's the last message I want to leave you with today, and I hope you look forward to the next video. Again, I'm going to talk about more in depth, going beyond and staying in this permanent state of beyond the material, beyond pleasure and pain. All right, reaching your highest potential in every moment. So, see you in the next video. Let's evolve. Enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day. Bye-bye.